Can you do web development on an iPad? Absolutely. But on an iPad only? Not really. Sure, you can connect this up to a server in the cloud, but that's not technically iPad only. Even that server in the cloud is another computer. At least with my laptop, I can install a number of pieces of software, such as web servers, databases, and even Node.js. Now this is where the Raspberry Pi comes in. In this video, I'm going to tell you why the Raspberry Pi is one of my favorite accessories for my iPad, and tell you what pieces of software and apps I install on both for web development. Let's get into it. My name is Patrick, and this is Everyday Tech for everyday people. And this video might fall under the category of not so everyday tech. Now, my full-time job is not as a YouTuber, but as a web developer. Now, because the iPad can only run iOS apps, I'm limited by what I can install on it as far as web development is concerned. This is where the Raspberry Pi comes in. I can install a number of pieces of software on here to do my web development. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover three main things. First, the communication between these two devices. Then the apps or the pieces of software I install in both. And then the pros and cons in doing this kind of setup. In order for the iPad to talk to the Raspberry Pi, they need to be both on the same network. Now, this is not much of a problem when you're at home, because usually all your devices are on the same home network, right? They can communicate with each other. But what if you're out and about at a coffee shop or on a public Wi-Fi? Sure, you can connect all the devices to that Wi-Fi, but there are a few problems with that. Some networks are configured where you can't talk to another device on the same network, and some networks are configured where you can, which means other people can connect to those devices. So that means other people can connect to your Raspberry Pi as well. So this poses some security issues there. Also, what if you're on a plane or you're in an area with no Wi-Fi? You still need to be able to connect your iPad to your Raspberry Pi in order for this to work. This is where travel routers come in. Travel routers allow you to create your own private network even on the go. I have a travel router here. This is the GL.iNet AR750 extended version. What this allows me to do is I can connect all my devices to this and they're on their own private network, but I can also connect this to the internet using a Wi-Fi hotspot or a public Wi-Fi. And what that allows me to do is my devices are not only connected to a private network to each other, but they're now also connected to the internet through this. There are a few nice things about this particular model, this particular travel router. First, it's really easy to set up. It has a really nice web interface, really easy to configure. It's really easy to connect to some Wi-Fi network. And then it does have an Ethernet jack, so you can connect your Raspberry Pi to this via Ethernet and then connect your iPad to the Wi-Fi network and you'll still be on the same network. Now, some of the cons with this particular model, it does take a while to load up or boot up and to get into that configuration state. And then related to that, you do need to power it up externally. It doesn't have an internal battery, but again, your Raspberry Pi doesn't have an internal battery either. So a solution is to get a nice power bank and connect and power up both devices at the same time. Having a dedicated device like this is really nice to have because the setup is really easy. It's really easy to configure. I will be doing a full review on this particular model, so make sure you subscribe to my channel. But if you're willing to do a little bit more setup, a little bit more configuration and tinkering, you can actually convert your Raspberry Pi into a dedicated travel router. Now, if you haven't seen my Raspberry Pi travel router video, make sure to click on the card up here or check out the link in the description below. Using the Raspberry Pi as a travel router, you can still install the other pieces of software that you need for web development. But the only thing you have to watch out for is the port numbers they all run on. So the RaspAP software that runs the routing software on here was running on port 80. I changed that because port 80 is usually what web servers run off. So you have to make sure you have all the right configurations for all the pieces of software that you're running. This means that you have to carry one less device. You don't have to carry a dedicated travel router. But there are advantages of using this kind of device. So you have to figure out what setup fits your needs better. Let's talk about some of the software I use for web development in this setup. First, on the iPad side. Because we're in a Linux environment with the Raspberry Pi, you really need a good terminal or shell application. My favorite on iOS is Blink Shell. Now, this used to be a paid app. It used to be $20 for this application. I thought it was well worth it. It does have a lot of features. It's very simple, but yet very powerful. And the great thing now is it's free. So I would get Blink Shell for your terminal or shell application. Next, one of the tools that a web developer uses all the time is the web inspector. Now, the web inspector allows you to see, do a number of things, such as execute JavaScript code in the console, debug your code, see errors that are coming in through your web application. Now, on a desktop browser, the web inspector is usually built in, but in iOS and on the iPad, it requires a separate application. There are two different applications I would recommend as far as a web inspector is concerned. One is free, one is paid. The free one is the Web Inspector Safari extension. Now, the later versions of iOS now support extensions in Safari, and the Web Inspector Safari extension is one of them. It allows you to pull up the Web Inspector right in the Safari browser, and you can easily see the different things that you need to see there. The next application is a paid application called Inspect. Inspect actually has a built-in web browser. So you have the web browser and the Web Inspector side by side. This is more like a traditional desktop browser with the Web Inspector there. I do prefer this interface a lot better than the Web Inspector Safari extension in iOS. This is a paid app, but I think it's well worth the money. Of course, the main piece of software I use on my iPad is Safari. I use Safari to interface with the application I'm developing. I use Safari to configure all the different software that's running on my Raspberry Pi. And I even use Safari to code some of those applications as well. But I'll get into that when I get into the software I use on the Raspberry Pi. Now, on the Raspberry Pi side of things, you can really install any piece of software that you need. Now, I'm a PHP web developer. I do a lot of WordPress development. So I have Apache installed as my web server, but you can install Nginx. I have PHP, MySQL installed. I'm currently learning React.js, so I have Node installed. So you can really install any piece of software that you need. Now, I mentioned I use Safari sometimes to code some of my applications. It's because I have VS Code installed on my Raspberry Pi. It's the web version of VS Code. And if you don't know what VS Code is and you're a web developer or any kind of developer, you really need to have VS Code installed on your computer. But I'll link to a video in the description below on how to install VS Code on your Raspberry Pi. So what are the pros and cons of having this kind of setup? Using your iPad with your Raspberry Pi? Well, first, the pros. This is a really portable setup. You can really take this anywhere. Nothing beats not having to lug around your laptop everywhere. You could just take out your iPad, leave your Raspberry Pi in your backpack, make sure it's powered up, and now you have a full-on computer just using your iPad here. Next, this is a really affordable solution. Now, of course, I have a M1 iPad Pro here, but this is a really overkill. You don't need an iPad Pro, actually. You need an entry-level iPad, even a model from the last couple of years. And then, of course, the Raspberry Pi itself is really affordable if you can find one. Right now, these days, it's really hard to find a Raspberry Pi. So what are some of the cons in this setup? First, it requires multiple devices. So you have the iPad, you have the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi needs to be powered externally. So potentially you have another device there in a power bank, or you have to have it plugged directly into the wall, which is a little bit inconvenient. Next, you have iOS, or the limitations of iOS. iOS doesn't do great on multitasking, multi-windows. So I'm way more efficient on my laptop. Until iOS supports better multitasking and better external display support and multi-display support, I'm going to be way faster on my laptop. I really like the fact that this is a really portable solution. Now, even though I'm more efficient on my laptop, sometimes I just don't want to bring that much with me. Now, if Apple ever allowed us to run macOS on these things, well, I wouldn't even need a Raspberry Pi. I probably wouldn't even ever buy a laptop. So maybe that's why they don't do it. Hope you like this video. Let me know what you think. I know some of you really want to only bring your iPad with you. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and consider subscribing. Until the next one, see ya.